Before a producer hits record or before a journalist picks up a pen, someone like you notices something and wants to understand it. Every day, we invite you to keep asking questions like why and who and how. Because NPR begins with questions, not conclusions. And your right to curiosity is a right worth protecting.
Good morning, I'm Andrew Dyer, in for Lawrence K. Jackson. It's Thursday, July 23rd. It's here, Comic-Con, but how long will it stay in San Diego? More on that next, but first, the headlines. The San Diego Unified School District is calling on the city to take action on requests to increase street safety around more than 100 schools. Superintendent Fabi Bagula says the schools are asking for various improvements to infrastructure. The requests are for things like speed bumps, flashing lights, and better signs and crosswalk markings. The requests come from the district surveying its principals after a child was struck and killed walking to school in the San Carlos neighborhood last year. The White House says it canceled more than 1,000 University of California research grants after screening projects for keywords relating to diversity, gender, COVID-19, and vaccine hesitancy. According to CalMatters, the revelation came in a court filing last week in an ongoing lawsuit UC researchers filed against the Trump administration. The researchers' lawyers say the admission proves the cancellation of almost $2 billion in grants was illegal. They say that's because the grants weren't individually reviewed for noncompliance with the grant's terms, but because of politics. The plaintiffs are now asking the court to forego a trial and declare the administration's cuts illegal. A hearing in the matter is scheduled for October. San Diego gas prices are ticking upwards again as the conflict in Iran intensifies. AAA says prices are up nearly 20 cents a gallon over the last week or so. It says this weekend is typically when U.S. demand for gas peaks. The higher price of fuel means Americans will pay about $1 billion more on gas over the weekend than they would have a year ago. From KPBS, you're listening to San Diego News Now. Stay with me for more of the local news you need.
Watch programs on your schedule with the KPBS Plus streaming service. See new episodes of Nature and Nova, latest news from PBS NewsHour and KPBS Evening Edition, local shows like Ken Kramer's About San Diego. Learn more at kpbs.org/KPBS Plus.
San Diego Comic-Con is staying in town through 2030. Mayor Todd Gloria made the announcement Wednesday. Reporter Alexander Wynn says it was an agreement between the city, organizers, and hotels to keep Comic-Con in town.
Comic-Con 2026 is officially open.
The deal was announced during the official kickoff to the pop culture extravaganza. San Diego Mayor Todd Gloria says under the deal, area hotels will reserve a block of rooms at affordable rates for Comic-Con attendees. Robert Gleason is the head of the San Diego County Lodging Association.
That allow convention goers to have a more affordable experience here in San Diego.
The extension is not just a big deal for fans, but also for the city. More than 14,000 rooms were booked for this weekend alone, generating an estimated $3.2 million in hotel taxes.
I'm thrilled by today's news that we get to do this for many more years to come.
More than 135,000 attendees are expected to attend the 4-day event this weekend. Alexander Nguyen, KPBS News.
Tuesday, the Chula Vista City Council abandoned a sweeping effort to overhaul the city's government. Reporter Corey Suzuki says council members faced forceful pushback, including from the city's own Board of Ethics.
The proposed amendment to the city's charter would have given big raises to the 5-member city council, increasing their salaries from $65,000 to $110,000 per year. It also would have made them eligible to run for a third term, along with the city attorney. The amendment combined those changes with several government transparency measures, but that combination didn't sit well with many residents and the city's own Board of Ethics.
In the board's view, this process is inconsistent with the degree of public participation and institutional review that should accompany a comprehensive charter amendment.
That's Board of Ethics Chair Bobby Ray Salas speaking at Tuesday's City Council meeting. He said the council was moving too quickly on major changes that could reshape Chula Vista for years.
Combining the proposed reforms together as one may impair the electorate ability to make a clear, informed decision on each independent policy question.
Ultimately, the City Council voted 4-1 to cancel the effort, sending the proposal to the city's Charter Review Commission for analysis and scrapping the pay raises entirely. Corey Suzuki, KPBS News.
Lemon Grove City Council Tuesday approved a tenant protection ordinance. East County reporter Elaine Alfaro says council members came to a consensus despite past divisions.
The new ordinance clearly defines when a landlord can issue evictions for what's known as a substantial remodel. Mayor Allison Snow says the ordinance is necessary because of gaps in state law, which she says gives landlords too much leeway to evict tenants, make renovations, and then increase the rent.
This is so much more cost-effective approach is to go ahead and just say, we're going to make the rules tighter, to tighten up those loopholes, to make it difficult for people to mess with our community.
Councilmember Yadira Altamirano was the sole dissenting vote. She wants to stick with laws already on the books.
My concerns is that additional tenant protection ordinances will eliminate organically affordable housing.
Another provision in the ordinance requires that landlords provide notices to renters about state and local tenant protections. Previously, council members had been divided on the need for a new ordinance, but Tuesday's vote ended up being 4-1 in favor. They're scheduled for a final vote on August 21st. Elaine Alfaro, KPBS News.
San Diego City Council member and congressional candidate Marnie Von Wilpert recently shared she was diagnosed with breast cancer. Earlier this month, she announced she'd had successful surgery. She says her prognosis is excellent. She sat down with Public Matters reporter Jake Gatta to talk about her experience and how it impacted her job and her campaign.
Tell me just a little bit about your prognosis and why you decided to share this information.
So, in late spring, around the end of April, early May, I received a routine letter in the mail from my healthcare provider. I'm a SHARP patient, and the letter said, Marnie, it's time for your annual mammogram. And I honestly thought about putting it off, given that I was in the middle of the city council budget season and a very competitive congressional primary. But I'm really grateful I didn't, because I went in, and a few weeks after that, they called me back and said they diagnosed me with early stage breast cancer. Believe me, I was shocked. I had no idea. And it was caught on the mammogram. And ever since, it's been a journey of a lot of doctor's appointments. I've learned that. But I'm really grateful for the care I received. I had an incredible surgeon who 3 weeks ago was able to remove the cancer from my body. My lymph nodes are clear. It didn't spread. And we caught it so early, I don't need chemo, and I am now cancer-free, and I'm grateful for it. But I'm happy to be able to share that good news story here. I just realized that not every American has the same access to healthcare I do, and so not everyone's going to get that good news, and so that's why I decided to become public and talk about this.
And of course, that is good news, and congratulations on that. Can you expand just a little more on what your thoughts and feelings were when you first heard this news and what went through your mind?
Yes. So Jake, I was completely shocked. I went in for a sonogram after my mammogram, and I'm perfectly happy to talk about this because this is women's health. And some men get breast cancer, but it's mainly women. 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer in her lifetime. And after the mammogram caught a potential tumor, I went in for a sonogram, which has been routine. I've done that many years, but then the doctor stepped in and turned the lights on. And she held my hand and said, I'm so sorry to tell you this, but I'm pretty sure you have breast cancer. And my first thought was, I don't have time for this. And I mean, how many women are juggling work and family and kids and maybe aging parents and how hard it is to then have to make room in your life to take time off for all the doctor's appointments you need to do. I have, radiation oncologist. I have a surgical oncologist, a medical oncologist. The amount of doctor's appointments I had to have also made me realize how lucky I was that I could take time off from work to do this.
Yeah, and tell me how you managed this while at the same time running for Congress, and then also at the same time you're a city council member. I assume that's a lot to juggle.
It was a lot to juggle. I balanced campaign events at night with doctor's appointments in the morning and then running to City Hall for important budget hearings and votes, with then going back to the doctor sometimes twice in a day. And it made me think about how lucky I was. You know, I could afford my mammogram, my biopsies, and my surgery without having to worry about whether it would throw me into bankruptcy. And I know that millions of Americans don't face that same security.
And so would you say that this has refocused some of your energy or maybe your things that you would be campaigning on when you're running for Congress?
It's made it even stronger. I've always been talking about healthcare since day one. One of the most beautiful things that happened when I became public about my diagnosis and how my prognosis is excellent and I haven't missed a beat is the amount of love I've received. I was honestly quite afraid to tell people that I had a cancer diagnosis. I thought they might give up on me or tell me I wasn't good enough anymore. And instead, I've been met with nothing but love. I mean, on all sides of the political spectrum, on all sides of this primary, people have come out to say, I'm a breast cancer survivor, or my mom is, or my wife is, and how can we help you? And the amount of care packages and ice cream, I welcome ice cream deliveries that I've received, has really touched my heart, because sometimes in our political world, everything can feel so divided. But in a moment of crisis, we as a community came together, and I felt so much love, and I'm so grateful for that.
Marnie, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you taking the time to sit down with us and tell your story.
Thank you for allowing me to come in and share my story. And I want everyone to know, if you ever get a cancer diagnosis, you are not alone. Please reach out for help. And please know that there are so many people who want to fight to make sure that your life is saved, just like mine was.
That was San Diego City Council member Marnie Von Wilpert, who is also running for Congress in the 48th Congressional District. She was speaking with Public Matters reporter Jake Gatta. The Pride Promenade in Hillcrest was first conceived in 1988. Construction was approved in 2018, and now it's finally nearing completion. Reporter John Carroll tells us about some of its features.
The Hillcrest Pride Promenade stretches from University Avenue on the south to Lincoln Avenue on the north. The nearly $30 million project is being funded through a variety of sources, including SANDAG, the City of San Diego, and the Hillcrest Business Association. It will feature a rainbow-colored bike path, linking bike lanes on University to lanes on Lincoln. The area now boasts 100 trees. There is a children's playground, various shade structures, and a food concession in a restored 1940s-era San Diego trolley car. Hillcrest Business Association Executive Director Ben Nichols acknowledges the project is behind schedule, but he says it will be worth the wait.
People will say, yeah, the construction's a headache, but we've got this beautiful thing coming. So people see the light at the end of the tunnel, they see what's coming, and they're excited about it.
The promenade is set to open by the end of the year. John Carroll, KPBS News.
That's it for the podcast today. As always, you can find more San Diego news online at kpbs.org. I'm Andrew Dyer. Lawrence K. Jackson will be back tomorrow. Thanks for listening and have a great Thursday.
At 10 o'clock, they're happy. How is she dead 2 hours later?
When a San Diego police officer is found dead in her home, who investigates? Follow One of Their Own, a new podcast from KPBS, wherever you listen.